I always have wanted to go to India. That's like
Really?
that's like my top 3 places to
It's
go.
a beautiful place.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place.
And I can never remember Goa. I want to go to yeah.
Goa's awesome.
That's where I want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jared here, rockarazzi.com and 987fm.com, and of course the Sideshow Countdown with Nikki Sixx, with Samir from Young the Giant. Man, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate taking the time.
No problem.
I just listened to Cough Syrup, and I dig it.
Thank you.
I like it.
Thank you very much.
Can we start by talking about a little bit about the inspiration behind that track, which is your new single?
Yeah. It was... this last album has been a span of about 1.5 years worth of writing. So, Cough Syrup was actually one of the first songs we wrote for the album. And at that time, we weren't really signed yet. We were really broke and didn't really know what to do with ourselves. We were living in Orange County and essentially felt somewhat oppressed by, I guess, the universal expectation of what to do in Orange County and I guess in suburbia in general. I think we really yearn to break out of that and do something a little bit different. So Cough Syrup itself, I guess, is a kind of a cry for help, trying to get out, trying to do something different, break free from not necessarily oppression, but, I guess the common symptoms of suburbia, like boredom and just normality and homogeneity, a lot of stuff like that. So the song, I guess, just, took off pretty well, and we kept on playing it. We've been playing it for about 3.5 years now, 3 years, and it's now caught on to radio. So it's cool to be able to think back on our perspective of writing and our life back then and how it applies now, because our lives are completely different. We're doing something different. We're traveling every day, so very different lifestyle from when we first started writing the song.
And a lot of fans are curious. How do you adapt to a lifestyle change like this? Does it shock your system in terms of you're 1 minute you're kind of struggling artist and penning all these lyrics hoping that they're heard, to the next minute you're traveling to Indonesia?
Yeah. You know what? I've always dreamt of this, and I don't think we exactly pictured it this way. We thought of it as it would be in the movies. You get to relax when you want to relax, and you just go travel when you want to travel. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. You slave to the road. You can't really make any plans. It's just you sacrifice yourself to that end goal, whatever that may be. And we don't even know what that is. Just kind of striving towards getting people to listen to the music. But we've all been playing in this band together since we were 16, 17 years old, and have been essentially preparing for this moment for up till then. So we're welcoming it, and we're really excited for everything that's to come. But sometimes it gets easy to get tired and a little fed up with always being on the road, always trying to appease people and get to places at the right time. But I think it's all worth it. I really do.
Is there one thing that you have to bring with you on the road?
I have to bring my laptop. Actually, I do a lot of recording, and everyone does, and it's really important to just keep on writing on the road, so that's a big thing. And also I was a creative writing major in college, so I just love writing fiction, and I always have my favorite TV shows downloaded, like The Wire and The Sopranos and stuff like that, always watching that. So I guess my laptop, in essence, is probably the thing that I cherish the most on the road.
What kind of writer are you, Samir? Are you the guy that wakes up in the middle of the night and is inspired by a dream, or are you constantly writing on the back of bills? Take me through that kind of process.
I guess it's taken a while for me to really find my voice. In terms of lyrics, songwriting and fiction writing itself is completely different, but either way, the universal thing for me is that when you're writing, and when you're not writing, you're not writing. You're not thinking about it all the time. Otherwise, you're always going to change the things that were golden, and you can always mess things up that way. So I'll find moments of inspiration, and usually that time is early in the morning, or very, very late at night. But in between, I try not to think about it as much and just let things happen and experience life, and then think about it a little bit later and trying to piece it into words.
Do you think about legacy at all? Does that word mean anything to you personally about how you want to be remembered, or how you want your body of work to be remembered?
I do think so. I mean, I think every artist strives to achieve some sort of respect, and I think that is the end goal for us. We want to be able to be successful in what we do, be able to be stable, you know, not be completely broke, but at the same time we want to compromise, you know, some stuff so we can actually be proud of our body of work and have people be excited for the next album and amass like a group of people that really enjoy what we're doing, and really spend time trying to figure out what it is that we're trying to say. So I think that is the end goal, and you know, sometimes it's very hard for a band to even realize that if they've ever reached it. There's always that idea of getting to the next level, even though you never know what that may be. So it is very, very important. It is very important, but I think it's always something elusive, always something that you can never quite tangibly feel. It's something that is always just in the air, I guess, and sometimes you can feel it when you're talking to someone that's completely removed from the situation. But when you live this life and you're always dealing with stuff every day, it's very easy to become, you know, not necessarily jaded, but, you know, used to just things that happen that you'd normally be excited about.
Mm-hmm. How is it impossible to have a personal life when you have this kind of lifestyle?
It's very tough. It takes a lot of discipline and motivation, and you can get lost in this world, and there are a lot of people that do, and there are a lot of people that really enjoy that. And I try and strike a balance. It's very, very important to me to stay grounded and stay relative to like how, you know, how the world is and what's actually going on, as opposed to like our lives, because it's a very, very thick place to be. You can get stuck in it, and it's not a good place to find yourself a couple of years down the line.
Can you listen to yourself on the radio when your tune comes on, or do you have to change the station?
Yeah, to be honest, I never really listen to this. I never hear it on the radio, and people will say that they listen to it all the time, and they'll see it, or like I just got a haircut the other day, and my haircutter, he just puts on like this radio station all the time, and you know, like I was there for like an hour, and a bunch of my friends' bands were playing, you know, like Foster the People and all those guys, and we're talking about them. He's like, literally 30 seconds after you left, your song came on the radio, and I never really listened to it. And I guess I don't listen to the radio as much as I should. And when we're traveling, it's very, very tough. But
is the Miss Pac-Man machine
yeah,
go?
Miss Pac-Man's freaking out.
Jeez, that was bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Foster the People. So there's, I mean, LA is starting to get, you know, a little bit of that Seattle thing that was going on, and you know, in early '90s. Does that feel tangible to you, that there's a kind of resurgence of a real true music scene?
It does, and especially now, you know, our first time running through all these festivals, Sasquatch and Austin City Limits and Lollapalooza, we're really excited for. We're getting to see all the same bands that we've traveled with, essentially, you know, experienced the whole world with, and it's cool to see them affecting change in other places. And it's also fun to hang out with them when we're back at home, because that is our stomping ground. That's where we all found inspiration. We actually first met the Foster guys in Paris, and they were playing a different show, and we were like staying at the same hotel, ended up getting drinks with them afterwards, and we didn't realize that we were playing in Belgium together the next night, and then we saw each other in Seattle and Boston and New York, and it's really exciting. It's really cool to see that.
And can you tell me about what's your vision for the record after this?
I really think that we have a lot of influences from, you know, every spectrum of music, and we respect all types of music. And more than anything, we are all mutual writers. We write together, and I think that's something that we took for granted when we first started, because a lot of bands actually don't do that. Surprisingly, there's like one writer, and then the rest are arrangers, or they kind of play to piece. And I think we really want to be able to collaborate and take all those, you know, that wide spectrum of influence and kind of fuse it into something that's still within our own voice, but trying to get a little bit more left field with it, but at the same time, you know, sticking to our roots. I'm really excited for the new writing, and we've been writing a lot on the road, so yeah, very excited.
Cool. All right, I'm just going to finish up. I'm going to fire off some ridiculous questions. And
Okay.
Okay. First of all, have you ever been to a shrink?
No, I have not, but my mom is a shrink.
Oh,
so I guess
minus
maybe
2.
I've
Good.
lived my
Okay.
whole life with this
Good.
shit.
So that's why we're both equally fucked up
Yeah.
people. Do you believe in love?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Favorite pizza joint in Los Angeles?
Ooh, that is a tough one, actually. But I'll say favorite pizza joint in Orange County is Lamppost Pizza.
Okay. Favorite vacation spot?
Let's say Mexico. Why not?
Can we be more specific?
Cozumel.
Okay.
It's not so bad over there.
Cool. American football or the real football?
The real football.
Yeah. Do you support a real football team?
Not necessarily. I mean, I guess I could jump on the bandwagon and say I love Barcelona because they're the best team in the world right now.
Mhm.
But I'm just a fan of sportsmanship and good play.
Okay. If you had to collaborate, if you could collaborate with one person right now, who would it be?
Little Dragon. A
Okay.
band called Little Dragon from Sweden. They're
Oh,
awesome.
cool. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all I got. Anything else you want to talk about that we can promote and help you guys out? Anything?
I mean,
Good.
listen to the song on the radio. I'm just excited.
Cool. All right. Before you cruise, I'm gonna have you say, "Hey, I'm Samir from Young." Oh, you know what? I didn't ask you, which I know the answer, but can you tell me about Young the Giant and where the name was derived from?
Okay. Well, Young the Giant really came from just spontaneity. We're trying to spit out some words, and we really didn't want it to make that much sense when we first did it. We just kind of wanted to feel like the phrase meant something warm and nice, and we could jam with it. Because at that time when we were writing, everything was very spontaneous, and it just was kind of like someone would bring something to the table and we just run with it, and no matter how strange we thought it sounded, we try and formulate it into something. So Young the Giant really, I think, really expressed that for us, and just like that complete spontaneity, like a mixture of ridiculousness and meaning. And I think later on, Young the Giant really did encompass like the time that we first started writing together, when we really felt like how important youth was, how important it is to feel that feeling even when you're not young, even when like things are trying to force you to become, to mature and be older, and that's not necessarily always a good thing. So I think the name will remind us of the beginning of the band when we first started, when we were 17, 18 years old, like living like idiots in Newport Beach. I think, that's the best way to keep it and remind ourselves.
Right on.
Hey, I'm Samir from Young the Giant, and I'm a rockaholic.
Well, I treat you good.